Hello, my lovely Leos. This is your reading for the week of December 15th, or when it resonates. Of course, it won't be for all Leos, and it could also be for Leo, not only sun, but rising, moon, or a lot of Leo in your chart. I've asked the guides to work with me with 3 cards this week, just to experiment and see how this is going to go. Leo, what I get for you, the very first card that comes up is love. Then the next card is why not? And the next card is you're on vacation. Okay, now putting them together, this is the way it works for me. And this is what I'm feeling as I'm tuning into the energy, is that you're being asked to look at love and how you love in a new light. It's asking you to consider what constraints you've had on really letting love into your life. And this is the thing, it's not your ability to love, although as I'm saying that, they're moving that to the side here. So I've got to come back to that. But the idea of loving as a general energy as opposed to something you give to this one and then take away because they do something you don't like, right? This is talking, Leos, about the quality of love that is the essential nature. And I gotta say, the love card is coming up a lot lately. And I think that's because partially the season is moving towards that celebration of the sacred, which of course love, the essential nature of love is the sacred. So I feel as though as I'm talking to you this, Leo, what I want to say is this. You have done great acts of loving and of caring towards people. And you have in very many ways created structures in which other people get to blossom and bloom, but you haven't always had the chance to do that yourself. Part of the reason why you've done that is because there was an uncertainty of having been loved. There was an uncertainty of having been worthy of love. Now, this won't be for every Leo, but when we look back at our lives and our childhoods, very often when we experience situations where there has been a sense of abandonment, a sense of not having had the support, not somebody there saying, you go, you can do this, or don't worry, you know what, if it doesn't happen this time, another time. Just being seen, being heard, being supported, nobody helping you to deal with your emotions. This can lead to a sense of disconnection from knowing yourself as love. Because we won't go into childhood psychology. I'm certainly not equipped to do that. However, what I'm feeling with this, my dears, is if you're being shown these cards, it's because the energy is there and it's present for you now. And you're able, by asking the question, why not? Why have I not felt the love coming to me? Why have I not been able to let myself be vulnerable in a way where I can really let love in? That's another question you can ask. You can ask a whole bunch of questions around the themes and the patterns you've experienced around love and loving. So I'm going to show you the who not, why so, you know what I'm saying. It's right here. And this is the card on love that you're being asked to consider. Now, what I really like and where I really feel is this is perfect for me when I look at this coming up together is the on vacation card. And what this card really says within the connection and the context of this energy and these cards is, imagine that you are looking at everything and everyone for the first time. If you were on vacation, for example, if you were on vacation and you walked down the street that you were on, this would be a simple application. Well, if I were looking at this as though I'd never seen it before, I would be open to looking at colors, shapes, people very differently. When you bring this now to this, which is something, when you bring that idea into this, which is talking about you asking about why and how it could be different, you're being asked now, okay, so supposing all of those patterns of love were then. And now you're looking at love and relationship in a whole new way, right? You're going to come up against those faces and those people that tell you why it wasn't possible. And some of them will just be. There'll be voices in your own head based on experiences that you've had. But what we have to remember, or it behooves us to remember, is that when we continue to create our future with our thoughts and our feelings that are based on past, we get more of the same. So that's why it's really important for you to look at this and say, okay, that was the pattern in love. That was a pattern in vulnerability. Why? And who says it has to be that way? And now I'm going to go, no. What would I like it to look like? What am I going to look for differently? How am I going to, oh, this is interesting. How am I going to imagine the next relationship differently? Or the next opportunity to love from that general essence of being a loving energy? How am I going to deal with that differently? How am I going to let that be there? Instead of it being the kind of love that gives and takes away. So I feel this is really beautiful, actually, Leo, because I feel this is really about you getting a chance to identify anything that's holding you back from being that loving frequency and from the results that will happen in allowing more of that love to come into your life. The other thing that I feel I need to say with this, I don't know what it is yet, but I know there's something. The idea of being a loving frequency is not always easy to get to. So the suggestion is to don't worry about whether or not you can get into that state. What they're saying is just look at what your patterns are around loving. And by asking questions around the things that were painful, thank you, or restrictive, or that left you feeling as though you were carrying the weight of the relationship. Oh, thank you. That's where you get to look at, thank you, that just by asking questions around that and expanding your consciousness around that, you automatically start moving towards more of that sense of expanded love. And what they're also saying is, please understand, because this is talking about the love frequency as the essence of being, it won't necessarily be something that's going to show up for you or be relevant to you just in romantic relationship. This is about communication and community and any kind of interpersonal connections, because the love frequency, the love vibration, thank you, is what we're all being told to aim for now, because when we are in that frequency, it is much harder to blame, to hold a grudge against anybody, including ourselves. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Leo. I hope that's helpful. Take care.